We're making a little box. It's about 4.5, 5 inches in diameter, and it's similar to some smaller ones we've made before. I started out with some curly maple that didn't have a real fancy curl in it, but it wasn't first class wood. It had some bug holes in it, worm holes in it. So we laminated two pieces together and put them on this chuck we've got here. We rough sawed this wood into a rough circle and then band sawed it from there to something that would fit in this chuck on our lathe. Here's a shot of one of these blanks chucked up in the lathe. We got our big set of jaws on this chuck here. And as you can see, that thing's pretty well out of round. But we started turning it, and this will be the shot of the bottom of the box. And we turn the bottom first, and then turn the sides, the bottom part of the sides, round it over the bottom corner there. Here we are turning the speed down on this lathe and starting the sanding process. We start out with 80 grit on a little foam back cover we got to go behind it, and here we show you our little multi-tool oscillating sander that we sanded some with. And so we worked through the grits of sandpaper from 80 grit down to 180, 120, 180, and down to 240, and then we use some Scotch-Brite, green Scotch-Brite, and here we're checking the bottom, make sure that it doesn't rock. If you got the center too high, that bowl won't ever set straight. And here we're using some Scotch-Brite, green Scotch-Brite, and some steel wool. Now we're turning the blank over. We got the bottom done. We're going to work on the top half of the sides and hollow out the inside of the box. Here's a shot of us preparing to drill a hole in the center of it. Got a little drill bit with a collar on it. And we run that collar in there to start the process out. It makes it easier to hollow this thing out. Of course, this is sped up quite a bit. We try to leave the edges and the bottom around 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little more, a little less. Here we're rounding the top edge off on the bottom part of this box. We got a little thing we put on our drill, and it's got 100 grit paper on it. Here we're roughing out the sides, beginning the smoothing process of it. Here we are with some 180 going down through the steps to get it sanded. This is 4/0 steel wool we're finishing up with. This is our little texturing tool, and we put that texture right where those two pieces of wood are joined together in an effort to camouflage the joint. We make two little slots on each side of the textured part. Here we are taking it off the chuck. Had a little piece of plastic between it to try to keep from marring the edge of the bowl. Now we're mounting the blank in the chuck for the top. This will be the lid, and this is the bottom part of the lid. Try to get it round, then we cut a little slot in there to where it'll fit the box. We want it to fit loose because it's not meant to be a tight fit. Now we're going to do a little hollowing on the lid to make a little more room inside the box. This is sped up quite a bit. We don't want to make too long a video, but we've left a little more room in this one than we have some other ones we've made. Here's some more footage of the hollowing process on the underside of the lid for this box. We try to make it sort of oval shaped inside. Now we're sanding on the inside of the lid. Going through the process, start out with 80 grit and work our way up through the grits. Didn't finish the inside of the box. Now we're turning the lid over, and we're going to work on the outside portion of it. Here's a shot of us shaping the outside of the lid. It's sped up considerably. We try to leave a little knob on it to hold it by. We're smoothing it down and getting the final shape of the outside of it using some different tools. Now we're sanding on the outside of the lid, going through the same process we have before. Here we are with a Scotch-Brite pad, and now we're going to apply the texture to the lid. In this second part, we try to put it right on top of where the two pieces are joined together, kind of camouflage things. And here's some Johnson's paste wax going on there. Turn the speed up on the lathe and try to buff it down and smooth it out. Here we're taking the lid off the chuck. We're going to set it down on the body, make sure everything fits good. We got some finish on the lid, but we didn't put any on the body yet. Here's a little buffing wheel we're going to buff this Johnson's wax off with. Polish it up. Now we got this thing sitting on my workbench and pretty well finished. I'm going to heat up my branding iron and put my name in it and write the date on it. Here's a little propane torch, and this is my little branding iron that's got my name on it. We heated the iron up. It's actually brass, but got it hot enough to stamp my name in it, and gonna write the date on it, and that'll be the finished product. We appreciate you watching our videos.